Welcome back to the Abhijit Talk Show, and we were talking to Professor Vaidya and Professor Davde on the scope for the automobile engineering students in future. So welcome back, Professor Davde and Professor Vaidya, and we are going to continue our discussions and our talks and a lot of questions that a lot of people have been asking. I've been receiving some messages from people saying that since your discussion is going on, please ask these questions also. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions which have come from the audiences on my mobile. Yeah. So the next question is for both of you. Yeah, I would like both of you to give your thoughts on this. Now, we all know that we are in this pandemic situation, and the situation has actually changed the entire mindsets of people across industries, not just the automobile industry, but across industries. And the education system typically has moved from a classroom session to an online mode. Yeah, and I think this will continue for some more time, probably another 4 5 months, or maybe the next 1 year, and probably that would be the future also. Now, what do you think will this have an impact on the total overall education systems? My question is to first to Davde sir, and then we'll come to Vaidya sir. So Davde sir, if you could throw some light on this.
The first and foremost thing which is going to happen due to this pandemic situation is the students have to adopt to this new learning techniques.
Yeah.
Because conventionally they are used to classroom learning, and there is a interaction between the teacher and the student. The teacher can understand whether he has understood it or not. Teacher can control the class. Teacher can have control over the activities of the students. Second thing is, due to distance learning, the students, particularly weaker students, both ways, that is academically weaker and economically weaker.
Right.
The academically weaker students cannot cope up with this situation.
Right.
Where they can have personal discussion, personal counseling from the teachers, and they can gain knowledge. But whenever it comes to this e-media, the students are shy of contacting their teachers on this telephone or email or other modes of communication.
Yes.
Because particularly everything has to be done in writing. Most of the students are good in speaking, but they are weak in writing. So, in order to avoid exposure of their weakness in writing, they will try to avoid. So that is another thing which is going to happen. And yeah, another most important thing is there are so many courses which are advised to be taken by the student in this pandemic situation that the students are getting confused whether I should continue with the conventional curriculum. In addition to that, so many courses are there, so many skills are required. What should I do? That the students are confused.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it will take at least couple of years for student to get adjusted to this system. So by the time, the role of the teacher and teaching institution is very important, because they have to teach via distance learning mode. At the same time, they have to hone the skills which are required by the industries to the tune which industry requires.
Yes, Professor Davde, I think this becomes a very important challenge for the entire education system. And there are already many institutes which are already doing online education or distance learning education. But traditional colleges, like one is like us, and many other colleges will have this challenge. Let's listen to Vaidya sir on what are his thoughts.
Well, this corona is all unexpected type of situation. Nobody imagine that we will have to go online for teaching to the students. No institute, no teacher, no student, he was prepared for this type of education. And whatever the things that we saw in last 2 months, it is all, I will say, amateur exercise. Neither the students they are mentally prepared, nor even the professors they are mentally prepared, nor even the institutes they are having required infrastructure to go online. And something is to be done. Therefore, this online education was delivered in last 2 months. But gradually, the teachers, the students, the institutes, they will learn how to conduct the courses online. But in my opinion, online education cannot be, say, up to 25% is okay. But still, even in this epidemic condition, 75% education should be the conventional education. This is because if you want to develop the overall personality of a student, he should be a responsible citizen of India. That cannot be achieved through this video conferencing or online education.
Yes.
You need to have eye-to-eye contact. Eye-to-eye contact is the soul of classroom teaching. The teacher, at a time, he sees all the 60 students sitting in front of him. And a good teacher, he can find out the difference between who is concentrating, who is not concentrating, and immediately he can take the corrective action. And this is lacking in this video conferencing type, VC type education. So 75% education, in my opinion, should be still classroom teaching within four walls.
I completely second your opinion, Vaidya sir and Dhaule sir, both of you. The challenge today in this situation is the only thing constant in this world is change, and we all know that, we all accept that. Given this situation, the entire industry is disrupted, right? And as you rightly pointed out, uh, there are rural places where students don't have the access to such kind of stuff, and it becomes very difficult for them to really come on the net and access the online courses. So it becomes really difficult for these students. Yes, people become smarter when they start using this technology and this online stuff. So two things that you've mentioned is, one is you need to gear up for the present situation. Second, you need to hone your skills. You need to hone your technological skills so that you become aware of the overall the media education. Yeah, uh, that is actually a fantastic area. Now, I also want to ask you. Now, this becomes a bigger challenge for all the education institutes. See, theoretical classes can be taken on the web. Theoretical classes can run on the web. You can always speak one person talking, asking a lot of questions on the Zoom or WebEx or Skype or online, whatever is available. But when it comes to the technical education, when it comes to the practical stuff, that becomes a challenge. What are your thoughts on about this, on the online and technical stuff?
Well,
Yes, sir.
I will say you cannot learn swimming by reading a book.
Correct.
So it is as simple as that. You are in technical education. If you need to have practical experience, it should be hands-on experience. Swimming cannot be learned by just reading the books. You have to jump into water, and then only you can learn swimming. And same is the case with all engineering subjects. Wherever practical is involved, the students, they have to do the practicals unless they do it themselves. They cannot be masters of that particular technology. So practical, it cannot be replaced by video. Still, students, they have to do it themselves. So that is what I feel.
Right. Okay. Dhaule sir, what is your thought on this?
One thing is, nothing is impossible in the world. Okay.
Yes.
So from that point of view, it is possible. Yes, it is possible. But the teaching skills, high quality communication equipments, then small batch size of the students, investments will be increased.
Yes.
And considering the government's approach to discharge its role from higher education, it can be applicable only in few places, just like Doon school models.
Yes.
Okay. So you will require 5G communication network. You
Yes.
will require very high quality cameras for recording.
Yes.
You will have to have lighting systems, professional cameraman, high resolution displays for laptop or mobiles or tablets of the students, smart board for teaching.
Yes.
And another thing is the models on which they are working. Suppose, for example, in automobile engineering, you want to dismantle, say, engine,
Right.
two-wheeler engine. Then in that case, you will have to have two-wheeler engines all across the entire students who are going to work on it,
Absolutely.
because otherwise they cannot get hands-on experience.
Correct. Yes, yes, these are the limitations, and there's a lot of investment required by the institutes, by the government. There has to be a lot of support on the entire system, where the technology becomes an important aspect for the overall education. I don't know how much the government is really doing in terms of investing a lot of money on, as you mentioned about the 5G or the 6G. You don't know. Yeah, in the international colleges, they have already gone past that. The entire practical is done on a video, and the students are well aware of the technology or the practical stuff. But in India, in the current situation where we are only on 4G network, it becomes a challenge for people to really, cope up with. So while we are talking, also there are so many hindrances which are, where our camera is not visible, the voice is heard but the face is not seen, the face is seen but the voice is not heard. So you have got all these challenges which, which will create a hindrance on the online education. And yes, as Vaidya sir pointed out, that technical stuff or practical stuff cannot be done on a video. You have to blacken your hands, to really understand how the technology works or how a part moves in an automobile engine. Yeah, with the electronics, like you mentioned, mechatronics, which is an important part, also becomes necessary, that students have to understand it, which they will understand only if they are standing in front of the engine, only if they are standing in front of the car to really repair it or to work on it. So yes, I think this needs to be told to the government also. The education ministry also needs to understand this, as to how they can help institutes and the education scenario overall in India to grow in the sectors in terms of the online education. So thank you for that insight once again. Now that takes me to another question, which is related to uh, the unaided colleges in India. There are aided colleges and there are unaided colleges. Now, unaided colleges, I don't know whether the government is giving them that much of aids, that much of support to to improve their system. And again, I mean, coming back to the previous episode where we said the fees of such colleges are very high because it's an unaided institute, and that is where the challenge is. I mean, though the college may be good or one of the best colleges, the fees are very high, but because of these lack of systems or technologies, they might have to face a challenge. So my question is to you: what would be the fate of the unaided colleges post the pandemic situation, post the COVID-19 situation? Dore sir.
So there are two parts of this question.
Yeah.
One, post-COVID, if the vaccine or some medicine is effective medicine is developed against corona or COVID-19, in that case, the people will definitely, students, people will immediately resort to conventional schooling methods, because man is social animal. We Indians still love to stay in groups
Yes.
rather than study individually like Swedish or Scandinavian society.
Yes.
And another thing is, as discussed earlier, there are so many advantages of conventional schooling, where there is direct uh, emotional contact between the student and the teacher, so they can guide, counsel, and impart knowledge effectively. So if vaccine is developed, hardly within couple of years, the people will go back to conventional method. If the vaccine is not developed, in that case, only smart colleges with smart communication network, they will survive.
Right.
Those who wish to survive on political patronage,
Yes.
those institutes will disappear if there is no vaccine developed against corona or COVID-19. In that case, the placement of the students in industries, that is these virtual learners or distance
Yeah.
learners, I will say,
Yes.
it will be a tricky issue in initial days, because the past history of this distance learning is not good with the industry. So they will be little bit hesitant to accept such students. So instead of initially for 3 to 4 years, they will try to employ students from conventional systems. They will already be having 3 to 4 years experience rather than employing these freshers.
I will say you are talking about the unaided institute in the whole country.
Correct.
It is the failure of the controlling authorities like AICT, All India Council for Technical Education, and the state governments, different state government, they are directed. They are not controlled the number of institutes that are actually required. So it is a cancerous growth, I will say, of the unaided technical institutes, and they were competing amongst themselves. So even a good institute like New Polytechnic, they have to compete with a worst institute because the permission is given for some reason. It is actually the failure of controlling authority and the politicians also. I will say Corona is a vaccine for this cancerous growth. They will die on their own. They will die on their own if they don't impart quality. So Corona has taught us a lesson that if you don't impart quality, you won't survive. And that's a good lesson Corona has really given.
Absolutely.
So political, as Ravi sir pointed out, it is not only political patronage that is going to save you. Corona is going to kill you. Impart quality, then and then only you will survive. And the controlling authorities, they should now accept the responsibility and they should be accountable for this cancerous growth. That is what I feel. But Corona, in that way, I will say it will allow only those institutes who impart good quality education.
That's a
That's
very
it.
bold statement, I must say, Vaidya sir, you've made that the corona will kill the quality of education if the institute is not offering. So I think that talks about the entire fate of an unaided college. Yeah, but you being a part of the TAFNAP, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. It is TAFNAP, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you being a part of this, how are you trying to, cope up with this situation? How are you trying to help these unaided schools, or what is that you are trying to do on this front? So, question to you.
Well, the issues of unaided institutes, technical institutes, maybe a polytechnic or a pharmacy or engineering or MBA, anything which comes under AICT, they are very different. There is a very gloomy picture that is painted. These institutes, they are doing well, they are having good infrastructure, but the reality is quite different from whatever that we see. The first thing, I am again, you can say, making a bold statement. In around 75% of the engineering institute in the state of Maharashtra, salary is not being paid to the teachers for last 3 to 36 months. That is the ground reality. The controlling authority, AICT or DT, as far as Maharashtra is concerned, they simply come out with a circular. And that circular, the wording used in that circular, you are kindly requested to make the salary of the teachers for the month of March and April. The controlling authority saying you are kindly requested. How they can use such nonsense words? They should order. If you don't pay, we will close down your institute. But they don't have that daring. All of them, they are puppets of all these unaided institutes. And if the teacher is not paid for 36 months, how you expect quality education from such teacher? He will be busy worrying about his future. And absolutely, the controlling authorities, they have lost the control on these unaided institutes. The teachers as well as non-teaching staff is not being paid for many years. Lot of corruption is there in the amount that is received as a scholarship from social welfare department. Plenty of complaints have been made to the government and the controlling authority, but no action till date is taken. And that has really rotten the system of technical education in the state of Maharashtra. Industry is openly saying that 90% of the engineers that are coming out of these institutes, they are not employable. This has now become a general statement. They are not employable because they are taught by such teachers who are not paid for many years. So who is responsible? Ultimately, all the politicians, all the controlling authority, they should take a serious note of this. And unless they correct this system, good engineers you don't have in the society.
You will not be able. True. I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you.
Yes, the
And that's
positive part is 10% of the Abhijit. The
Yes.
positive part of Vaidya sir's discussion is
Statement.
10% of the institutes are still good. They are imparting education,
Yes.
and the parents and students, if they find those institutes and take education in such institutes, their future and career prospects are bright. But
Wow.
90%, AICT, DTE, all have rotten the system and politicians.
Okay. Okay. Now
But
that
10% is still good.
this actually is a very thought-provoking, discussion that has happened just now with the kind of insight that both of you have given. That if the colleges are not, the professors are not being paid on time, and as you mentioned that about 36 months people have not been paid, and still they expect that they should teach the students. How are these people going to survive their own life? In such a scenario, the students will not get a quality education, and as you rightly mentioned that 75 to 80% of students are unemployable only because of the fact that the teachers are not being paid on time, and they are not able
Very
to impart the kind of education that should be imparted to the students. So that is actually a very big concern for the entire society, and the government needs to understand this very closely. They need to see and get into the education system. I don't know what the education ministry is doing. I'm sure they must be trying to do something on this thought. But if still the challenge goes on, and in this pandemic situation, if the controls are not being done, I think we'll have a terrible uh, time identifying good students or getting the best students from the colleges, and making them employable. So I mean, I am going to come to this question once again post the question that I'm going to ask you now, and that uh, is New Polytechnic Kolhapur planning to do something with the automobile development corporation, or the FADA, which is one of the biggest organizations in India in the auto industry? Are you trying to do work with them or having a tie up with them for in any way? So I would like you to give a thought on this. Vaidya.
So this question is to me.
Yes, it is for you.
Okay. Well, only whatever the curriculum that is designed by MSBT, all the institutes, they are teaching this diploma curriculum. There is no, I don't find any joy into that. Apart from this MSBT curriculum, what we do in our department, I will tell you, for example,
Yeah.
we are having tie-ups with various industries and various organizations. We are having a tie-up with Mahindra Truck and Bus Division, where the trainer of Mahindra, they come during summer vacation and Diwali vacation. They impart training to our students in 2 sessions, and they give a certificate that is called as AIM Shiksha. If a student is having that AIM Shiksha certificate, he is eligible to get a job with any of the Mahindra dealers. Wow. Secondly, we are also having similar MOUs with Bosch and some other industries. Even we had with your initiative, we had a MOU with FADA, Federation of Automotive Dealer Association, which is a national level association of automotive dealers. And we imparted training to the students in the areas of sales, service, and marketing, which is a specialized job. apart from that, this led international organizations. But what we have done, we are having a tie-up with local two-wheeler mechanic association and local four-wheeler garage owners association. What we do, we impart training to the mechanics, which otherwise they are practically very good, but theoretically little bit they are not that good. We tell them, we teach them the theory part of whatever the job that they are doing, and in turn, our students they are trained, and our students they go for summer vacational training to these two-wheeler and four-wheeler mechanic garage owners who are having the experience of more than 30 years. So this is a small initiative, but that has given a lot of input to our students, and it is a win-win situation. So as you rightly pointed out, such type of MOUs and such type of training arrangements for the students, they are absolutely necessary, and we are working on that, and already we have a lot of MOUs with different associations. And day before yesterday only I had written to Ford Motors. Possibly there something may be initiated from Ford Motors also, so that our boys they can be trained at Ford Motors also. So that is apart from your MSBT curriculum, such type of initiatives are necessary.
Absolutely. I mean, thank you for that great insight on how you're going to work with students on this particular aspect. So that's a great initiative. Yes, you have done a lot of work, a lot of MOUs with big organizations for tying up and working with them, improving the quality of students. So I think that's a great initiative already you've been doing. Now in this with that, I have just two questions to ask you. Last two questions to ask. Now this question is to both of you. I would like you to suggest five or six important strategies, five important strategies for students to improve in this present situation. What is that you will say on the skill sets part as students should improve? So just five important things that you could tell the students. Vaidya sir.
Okay. Firstly, technology will be the mantra of the future. So the students they should adopt themselves with different types of technologies. It
Okay.
may be internet. It may be having the access to various video conferencing softwares. So computer literacy is very important. If
Yes.
you are computer illiterate, then no more you can stand in the competition in the future. So
Correct.
computer literacy and having knowledge of technology, these are the two important things as per my opinion for the students. They should adopt themselves with the coming technology.
Right. Dole sir,
Yes.
what is your say on this?
You have raised a very crucial question in this discussion. I would say this is the most crucial question. That which set of actions should be taken by the students to improve skills so that they can become a good automotive engineer. Okay, that is the question. Right.
Right. Absolutely.
So number one is communication skills. So I will suggest which actions should be taken by the students
Absolutely.
during this vacation and during their curriculum. Number one is communication skill. To improve your communication skills, you should start reading newspapers loudly. Try to speak any new thing which is observed or known to you in that day. Attend voice culture workshops. There are 3 to 4 voice culture workshops in city like Kolhapur also. Try to play small skits, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes skits. And now the new generation is very well conversant with TikTok videos. So
Yes.
try to prepare TikTok videos, but there should be some theme in that skit. PPT presentation. So as many as possible, you can prepare your PPTs and present it.
Okay.
Observation skill. To improve observation skill, meditation helps to focus you.
Yes.
Try to observe with eyes. So apart from meditation, try to observe everything with your eyes, listen with ears, smell with nose,
Right.
and touch sensation. That is
Absolutely.
very important. Another thing is you can join MKCL courses so that you can uh, improve or hone your skills in e-communication. Try to play football, volleyball, basketball, or cricket. So, particularly in this COVID restrictions, it is not possible. But whenever these restrictions are lifted, try to play these games so that team spirit is increased,
Right.
the coordination is increased.
Right.
And last, to develop innovative thinking, you should have interest in reading each and everything which is not related to automobile engineering but in scientific fields.
Absolutely.
So this is very important because I will say those who are interested in other fields also, they contribute in automotive engineering
Absolutely.
or in other fields. For example, you must be knowing that the stent which is used in angioplasty was developed by an automotive mechanic.
Yes. Wow. I mean, some excellent examples that you've given. Yes.
Supersonic aeroplanes, yeah, because they were interested in other fields also.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Wow. I mean, Davde sir, these are some examples which are very important for people to understand that the automobile engineer can contribute to the medical science of the world. I think that itself is a big disruption, I would say, that would happen to an industry. So I think thank you so much.
That is how you can innovate.
Absolutely, and that is what is innovation. That is what is how do you innovate. So I mean, I can speak a lot about design thinking, innovation, and disruption. That is my topic of discussion. We can discuss it when I visit the college sometimes later. But yes, a lot of insight from both of you. I have this last one question to Vaidya sir specifically. Yeah. So Vaidya sir, as professor of the esteemed college, New Polytechnic, based out of Kolhapur, what is the message that you would like to give our Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the improvements to be done in the education sector, specifically for the automotive engineering stream? So,
Well, very good question. I would like to answer this question. As I said, that the whole technical education system has been rotten by the politicians and the controlling authorities. Controlling authorities, they don't have any control. They are puppets in the hands of all these institute owners. But one important thing the Prime Minister should observe, all these technical education institutes, they are run by a public charitable trust. So whoever the trustees are there, they are not the owners of the institute. And the whole society and the whole administration, they have forgotten this fact. They are assuming that they are the owners of the institute, which is not true. They are not owners. The society have imparted trust into those people, and they are the trustee of the trust. And if the trustee, they are not functioning as per the rules and regulations framed by government from time to time, the government is an authority to remove those trustees and take some good decision. So, in your show, for the first time, I would demand to our beloved Prime Minister that Corona has given you an opportunity to do nationalization of all private unaided technical education institutes. If you don't perform as per the government rules and regulations, straight away take all the infrastructure in the command of government, do nationalization of those institutes, and that is possible. There is one act, Transfer of Management Act is there, and if it is not there, you pass a new bill. And if the institutes, they are not paying to the students, if they are not following the rules and regulations, Corona has given an opportunity to government to take over all such institutes which are not following rules regulations. So do nationalization of all those institutes who are erring. So Abhijit show, maybe the first show to announce this, that we are demanding nationalization of private technical unaided institutes which are not performing as per the norms set by the controlling authorities.
Thank you, Vaidya sir. I will ensure that this message goes to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and he, with his education ministry team, works on the nationalization of the colleges. And I'm sure your insight, the insight that you've given for the nationalization, or rather, I would add on to it a kind of a liberal education system wherein we function in such a way that equal rights are being given to the colleges, and people from different walks of life can take admissions and they can improve their education. So it is not necessary that there is a fee structure separate. There is a class of people going to a college, discrimination. So it becomes a nationalization where everybody gets an equal opportunity and equal chance to study different streams
Very true.
of the education. Thank you so much, Vaidya sir and Davde sir, for being on my show and giving so much of insights to the audience and to the viewers on the education system, specifically the automobile engineering, which is a major contributor to the Indian economy. So thank
It
you
was
so much for being
our
here.
pleasure also to participate in your show. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that message. I think our students would really appreciate the way you have given the right message to them, and they would prosper accordingly. So, thank you for being on my show, Vaidya sir and Davde sir. It was a great pleasure and honor for. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, sir.